With Quinnipiac now red hot, having won 17 straight, Charisma Thrash is at TD Bank and has more on what drives them. Charisma.
As the Quinnipiac women's basketball team continues to thrive and top their opponents this season, a familiar name still lingers throughout the locker room. Forward Jen Fay describes the class of 15 guard as a legend, and as one player puts it, the legacy continues.
And 6 seconds in, Jasmine Martin has given the Bobcats a 2-0 lead.
Former Quinnipiac women's basketball star and 3-time team captain, class of 15 Jasmine Martin, is said to have brought more than just her hunger to win to the hardwood.
The hot hand continues for Jasmine Martin. She's got a game-high 14 points.
Jazz was really good and kind of just made me, realize, wow, I need to, really work on my game.
She brought inspiration and vision with her, too, leaving a lasting impression within the program. Junior forward Jen Fay recalls her freshman year and credits Jasmine, along with the memorable 2015 MAC champion Bobcats.
That entire class was someone that we could all idolize as freshmen. Jazz definitely was one of the best players in that class, and everybody had their part. We win as a team, we lose as a team, and we do everything as a team. And I really think that class kind of started that culture.
They definitely set the bar high.
Junior guard Brittany Martin has the same mental toughness on the court as her older sister Jasmine. Do whatever it takes to win.
You have to have that mentality that you want to win, and that's what we all have. We have to focus on what's in front of us now and not the game before or the game after that. We have to figure out what's important now.
The mentality to compete and stay hungry to win seeps through every player on the women's basketball team, a mantra they live by after 5 women set the bar and put Quinnipiac on the map.
We're going to continue these last 2 games expecting it to be a dogfight. We can't take any team for granted.
All 5 members of the starting lineup that led the Bobcats to the 2015 MAC championship signed professional contracts overseas. The Lady Bobcats hit the road this Friday as they look to oust 5th-ranked Rider. Game kicks off at 7 o'clock. For Q30 Sports, I'm Charisma Thrash. Dave?
Hey everybody, Charisma Thrash here for Q30 Sports, joined by women's Quinnipiac basketball forward Jen Fay. Jen, how are you today?
I'm doing good, thanks for having me.
Well, of course, I want to talk basketball, so let's talk about how you were just named MAC Player of the Week, which comes after not only did you score 21 points averaging in both games of MAC play against Siena and Manhattan, where you shot 67% from the field. Tell me a little bit about that game.
I think coming off a really tough non-conference schedule, it was nice to get those 2 wins under our belt, which is the most important thing, and it was just nice to be able to finally knock some shots down after kind of struggling from the field in the first kind of half of the season there.
Where do you think that you improved the most when it comes to your game?
I think during the year that I was out, my sophomore year with the torn ACL, I was really able to develop my 3-point shot. Freshman year, I only took about 16 threes total in the whole season, and I think I've gone well over those numbers these last 2 years playing back on the court, and I think really that's just been attributed to me getting a lot of shots up when I was hurt.
What's the significance of your jersey number? You have the same jersey number, so what's the significance behind that?
Honestly, actually, in high school, I really wore number 24. That was my go-to number, but when I came in, Jazz Martin, the legend here, had my number, so I had to switch over to 21. And I'm not really too superstitious about anything like that, so I would never change it back now. I think I like it, but it's nothing too special to me.
What's something that you've taken not only from your teammates, but your coaches?
Obviously, just to never look down on any opponent, no matter who we're going to play. Obviously, we had a lot of really tough non-conference games, but and going into the conference season, we know our end goal is to obviously win the MAC, but we have to play one game at a time and not take any opponent lightly. So I think that's the thing that they preach a lot to us.
What's something that you want everyone to remember you by, not only your teammates and coaches, but here at Quinnipiac?
I think it's just obviously just being a great teammate. I think that's what we really pride ourselves on, being really unselfish and not really caring who gets the credit for it. So I think that's something that I definitely want to be remembered by, is just always waving the towel for my teammate and doing whatever I can to be the best teammate both on and off the court.
All right, thanks. Jen?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Charisma Thrash for Q30. Abdulai Bundu is a 6'7" forward from Maryland who contributed over 150 points to the Quinnipiac men's basketball team this season and leads the Bobcats in offensive rebounds. But it wasn't just basketball and athleticism that landed Bundu at Quinnipiac. Abdulai was raised in the brutal war-torn Sierra Leone, which is located in West Africa. His biological parents fled the region with their 2 sons in hopes to escape the erupting civil war for a better life. Abdulai at 11 months and his 7-year-old brother were left behind with an aunt and uncle, whom for years the brothers believed were their mother and father. When Abdulai turned 7, the life he knew changed. His parents sent for both him and his brother to come to the States. News that funneled feelings of excitement and curiosity for Bundu, emotions he can still recall.
There was a lot of emotions involved in that. I don't know which one stood out the most. Sadness, happiness, excitement. It was just a lot of emotions because, like, I'm coming into America. Like, you always, if you look from the outside looking in, like, this is the place to be.
Those new changes brought along the game of basketball, a sport he knew absolutely nothing about until he was approached by his middle school head basketball coach.
I still remember his name to this day. His name is Shadori Pierce. And I was walking through the hallway. They remember it because it was one of the most annoying days of my life. But I was walking through the hallways and he saw me and he's like, "Hey man, you play ball?" I said, "What?" I said, "You play basketball?" I said, "Coach, I'm a soccer player. Like, I came from Sierra Leone. Soccer is really like our main sport." He said, "You ever heard of basketball?" I said, "Nah, man." So he's like, "You want to try it?" I said, "Nah, I'm good, man." So he still bothered me till I said yes. And he showed me and I was like, okay, it's interesting. Like, I'll give it a shot. But you have to convince my mom. And my mom was not one of those you can convince so easily. So that night, or that week, literally, he somehow found a way to my house. And, it was me, him, and his assistant coach. They were just talking to my mom, like, yeah, we'd love you for your son to come out and play ball. Da, da. My mom finally agreed to it.
From learning a new language to a new sport, Abdulai excelled on and off the court. His determination to succeed landed him multiple D1 scholarships, but he felt Quinnipiac to be the best fit.
It just felt right coming to Quinnipiac, for my visit, from the time I left, I just wanted to come back.
Not every athlete has the same story on how they fell in love with the game. Bundu wasn't old enough at the time to understand the dangerous risk his mother took to see him and his brother smile, to not live in fear, and the tears that were shed while they were apart. He sees his mother's American dream unfolding. Because of her, he's standing here today.
She is the biggest piece of my life. Like, she plays the biggest role, obviously, just being a mom, but it's hard. I don't know how I can thank her enough, honestly. I don't.
When Abdulai sees a smile on his mother's face and her at her happiest, he's proud, relieved, and grateful. It's his weakness. So are the aspiring little ones Bundu comes across that hope to play and be just like him someday.
I just have a thing for them munchkins just running around, but it's just, for me, it's looking at them, I can see myself a little bit, because especially those that don't have any guidance.
Unlike some athletes, Abdulai sees basketball as more than just a game. His desire to compete comes from adversity, sacrifice, forgiveness, failure, and the will to inspire.